Oh, it's on. Just checking to see if it was on. Clock up here is about a minute fast, so I'm assuming Tristan will wave at me when it's time, or Gary. About 1 minute? Okay. The TV's off up there. Are we ready? The TV's off, so I can't tell if I'm on or not. So, well, good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome to our October town hall meeting. And I'm making sure we're going. There we go. Woohoo! I'm on. So making sure we're going out on the TV channel. So for those folks watching at home, but Ricky is off today, but she asked me to read a few announcements. So. Her first announcement, she says, is from Dracula. It says, "Good evening. The American Red Cross will be here on Monday, Halloween, October 31st, to take your blood. I must have blood." But anyway, no, the Red Cross is going to be here on Monday, October 31st, for a blood drive here in the Performance Hall. It will be 8 to 12. So please sign up at the transportation desk if you're interested in giving blood. And I don't know if Dracula will actually be here or not, but if he is, he'll be saying, "Good evening." Okay, now these are the reminders she says is from Ricky. I love how she tells me reminder from Dracula, reminder from Ricky. But anyway, Ricky's announcements is the Employee Appreciation Committee will host a fall festival for employees and their children on Monday, October 31st, 5 to 7 p.m. in the Performance Hall. Residents are encouraged to stop by and meet the little goblins. Treat donations are still being accepted from residents. Drop the treat donations off at the transportation desk. And another reminder is many residents have volunteered to help work the fall festival on Monday. So if you volunteered to work the fall festival on Monday, please be in the Performance Hall and ready to go at 5 o'clock. So that's for residents that are working or wish to come and just see the festival. So Butterfield has partnered with the Northwest Arkansas Gridiron Show. This is an annual comedy show spoofing news media headlines, both local and national. The first performance is on Friday, November the 4th. That's a week from the day. But the first performance on Friday, November 4th is for residents and Carriage Club members only. Tickets are being sold at a discount at $25 each and can be purchased today in the front lobby until 11:30. A second performance is scheduled for Saturday, November 5th for the public. Residents who miss Friday's show can also attend on the Saturday show with their ticket. We are hopeful this partnership will prove entertaining and convenient for our residents. And then once again, that's the Northwest Arkansas Gridiron Show. And this is also in the magazine that came out yesterday. So if you haven't checked your mailbox, please do. And it's in the magazine. A bus, changing the subject to elections, a bus will run to the polls on Tuesday, November the 8th, beginning at noon, and will continue to run through 2 p.m. if necessary. So we will have buses taking residents to the polling places on Tuesday, November the 8th, if you wish to ride. So, thanks to the Resident and Employee Appreciation wait a minute, let me start again. Thanks to the resident and employee participants in the Wednesday's Cabaret Show, and thanks to Michael for his script, jokes, and directorship. I unfortunately had to miss the show, but I understand it was a good show. So, the offices and transportation services will be closed on Thanksgiving Day, November 24th. Happy Thanksgiving from Michael, Ricky, and their team, and thanks, Quentin. Oh, I wasn't supposed to read that. So, anyway. That was a joke, guys. Our next town hall meeting will be November the 18th. I want to remind everybody, we have it a week early in November, and I think a week early in December because of the holidays. So the next town hall meeting will be 1 week earlier on November the 18th. So make sure you have your calendars adjusted for that. And with that in mind, I have, that was all of Ricky's announcements. Jennifer is off today as well, so she's not here to share her news with us. But once again, the magazine's out and the calendar is going to be. Has the calendar come out, Kelly? So the calendar's out. So check your calendar for the updates and events for wellness and activities. So with this, I'd like to introduce Mike Wright. Mike, would you come up, please? As we mentioned last month at our town hall meeting, Jay Green has resigned and left our employment, and Mike Wright is our new. I started to say it was his replacement, but there is no replacement for Jay Green. But Mike is our new licensed nursing home administrator. So with that, I'd like to turn the floor over to Mike and let him just tell you a little bit about himself. So.
All right, thanks, Quentin. This is great. This is wonderful. Thank you all for having me. I am Mike Wright. I come with about a little over 15 years of healthcare experience. I'm from this area. I am married. I have 2 kids, 19 and almost 16. 2 dogs. I've got a chocolate lab and a little puppy, golden retriever, who's a mess, but he's beautiful. But yeah, so I live here in Fayetteville. I'm local. My wife, she works here in Fayetteville. She's got an office just around the corner. I'm just blessed to be here. I play golf at Paradise. For years, I've driven by Butterfield, and I just didn't realize how big this place is. It goes so far back, and then when I drove in here, the y'all's cottages and everything is just absolutely gorgeous. So I'm honored to be the new director of healthcare. If I can do anything for you, I am happy to help any way I can. So, again, thank you all. Mike Wright.
I'm really pleased with what Mike's done so far. He's been here 3 weeks, I think, and really pleased with what I'm seeing. He had some big shoes to fill, and I think he's going to fill those shoes very well. And with this, Kelly has some announcements for marketing.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Kelly Sire, Director of Marketing, and I have something that's kind of a little different than what I would normally be telling you all about, but I think it's something that you're going to really enjoy. All of this came, the first little nugget that got this process rolling was Mr. Roy Clinton. And he ran into one of the workers that is involved with Samaritan Shop. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Samaritan Shops, but there are 2 wonderful, wonderful kind of thrift store, household items, clothing locations, one in Rogers and one in Springdale, that are part of the Samaritan Community Center program. This is a local charity that does absolutely incredible work with helping with hunger relief. They do backpack projects for children that can't afford their school supplies. They have dental services for people who cannot afford dental services and are uninsured. They do like a feeding kitchen. The list of things that they do just goes on and on, but it is all homegrown local charity that is incredibly well run. And much of their support for the programs that they do, that they make free to those who need them, comes from the sales from their Samaritan shops. So these are very well run, beautiful thrift stores. And like I said, there's one in Springdale and one in Rogers. So bringing this back to Mr. Clinton, he happened to run into a volunteer one day and asked if there were some things that he could pass along to them, but needed some help getting it to them. And so we started talking about what that might involve and decided that maybe it would be a really neat idea to open this up to Butterfield residents overall. And that way we could have them come with their trucks and their volunteers and pick up items that Butterfield residents and staff members would like to be able to donate for resale in their shops. So after a little bit of coordination, we have a date, and we are going to be turning the performance hall on November the 15th. That morning, we're going to be turning it into a drop-off location for people to bring anything that they would like to donate. So there's some rules on this, and I've put some flyers back in the back. So if you are interested in being part of this, you can donate everything from clothing to kitchen items, small household items, all the way up to large furniture. And if it's small items that you're wanting to donate, if you're here in the apartments, you just need to bundle them up. They need to be boxed or bagged in something that you don't need back. Bring them down here, leave them during the hours of the drive, and then those will just magically disappear with their volunteers and go to the Samaritan shops, both in Rogers and in Springdale. If you have a large piece of furniture that you would like to donate, then there is a sign-up sheet that you need to just put your name, put what your location is, your phone number, and what it is that you're wanting to donate. And then during the drive, they're going to have some volunteers that are dedicated to going to help get that furniture from your apartment, your village home, or from your cottage. So we're going to have kind of a tight timeline, and that's why it's really important that everybody signs up if you do want to donate a piece of furniture that you need help moving. If you are in a cottage or in a village home, then we also need you to sign up, because you're not going to be asked to bring your things to the performance hall. You can just put your things onto your driveway or pop open your garage door and leave them in the garage during the drive hours, have them all bundled up, and then as we know that you're doing this, we need your address. We'll give that to the Samaritan Shop volunteers. They'll drive their truck around and they'll just pick everything up from you. So super simple. Just going to be a lot of activity for that morning of November the 15th. So like I said, there are sheets in the back. I'm going to have a poster up. I'll probably send out some e-news information, probably send it to you through text. You'll get lots of information about how this program works, but would love to see your participation, and just know that this really is a phenomenal nonprofit organization, and anything that you donate is tax deductible. So they'll have tax deductible forms. We'll be handing those out as you come by, so if you do want to claim that on your taxes at the end of the year, that's an option as well. So if you have any questions, feel free to follow up with me. I'm getting Elise all briefed on it as well in the marketing office. So between the two of us, we should be able to cover your questions. And if we don't know, we will find out. So thank you so much, and look forward to seeing some great participation from Butterfield. Thanks.
Good morning, Butterfield. My name is Memo. I'm the Director of Dining. I just have a quick announcement. We are 4 weeks away from Thanksgiving. So we will be having a reservation list up at the transportation as before. Please remember that all residents, if you're dining in, need to sign up and also put in the amount of guests you're going to have. If you're going to have parties of larger than 8 tables, please get with Tavon on that so he can go ahead and confirm your tables. We will not be calling you to confirm your reservation, but if there's a change that we need to make, we will call you for that. Let's see. There are no restrictions, so you can bring as many guests as you want. Maybe. So, other than that, does anybody have any questions about Thanksgiving? So guests will be charged $15 just for guests only. Okay. That's all I got. All right.
Our Employee Appreciation Committee had a pumpkin decorating contest, and I looked at the pumpkins, and man, they were all really good. I don't know how anybody chose between one or the other, but anyway, the people did vote, and Cody has tallied the votes, and he's here to share with us who did win the prizes. So, Cody, would you?
Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming this morning. We had a great turnout for the first pumpkin decorating contest that we've done. We had 17 contestants turn in pumpkins and over 80 voting ballots turned in, so that was a lot to count this morning. I'm hoping to continue this contest next year. I'll reflect on some ways to improve it. You can let me know if you have any ideas on that. The pumpkins are still back there on the table. You can pick them up today if you still have them out there. I'll probably, if there's any left, I'll throw those out on Monday evening after the fall festival. I'll keep them out there for that. All right, so now I'm gonna announce the contest winners. If the winners are present, you can come pick up your prize. If not, you can contact me or I'll contact you if I don't hear from y'all. In third place, we have Karen Hendricks with her witch pumpkin. Thank you, Mrs. Hendricks. She's going to get a $20 gift card for third place. In second place, we have Elizabeth Hool with her hog pumpkin. I knew this one would be in the top 3 when I saw it immediately, so she gets a $25 gift card for that. And finally, the winner of the contest in first place is Dennis Nelson with his pufferfish pumpkin. Everyone was super impressed by this pumpkin. It received 33 first place votes, which was much more than the next one. So he gets a $50 gift card and a cute little pumpkin trophy. So if y'all are here, you can come pick up the prizes from me. If not, you can contact me and I will get them to you. Thank you guys very much.
Morning, I'm Joe Permy, Director of Facilities. Before I get started, I would love to take this opportunity to embarrass Cody. He's not even listening. No, this was Cody's brainchild. He did the forms, he did the counting, he did the boxes. He made this work, and I hope everybody had fun with it. I appreciate seeing the work he put into it. I appreciate all the work he did. Just a couple announcements from facilities. One's in the main building, especially third floor, a few second, have had some water pressure issues in the morning. We have investigated, are still investigating. All our systems internally are fine. I have talked to the city. The only theory that they have and I have is with all the construction around us, when something's under construction, they'll put a large, like 4-inch meter on a fire hydrant, so they can open up and fill the huge tanks maybe they're using for the day. I drove this morning, we have like 4 of those meters around us. 7 to 10 seems to be the time pressure is dropping. The only theory we have so far is those places are filling their tanks at that time and it's dropping our pressure. Again, we're still monitoring our internal systems, our boiler room, everything that we can track. We don't see anything on our end. The main guy from the city was off this week. He's going to contact me next week. So all we have right now is a theory, but we'll try to get with them. If that's the problem, we'll see if we can get some of these construction area people to schedule, maybe alternate when they fill, if that's possible. We're dealing with outside contractors trying to finish projects. That's the update on that. Many put in to have their patios pressure washed this year. As you well know, we never got to that due to some staffing issues. So we have your name on the list. As spring approaches, if we are not fully staffed and able to work it out, we will hire an outside contractor. So we will, if you're on the list, we will get you coming in the spring. We apologize for it not happening this year. We realized we kept trying to have staff to do it. Never happened. So next year we're going to evaluate ahead of time. If we don't have staff, we'll make sure that's taken care of, again, by an outside company. That's all the announcements I have. Thank you all and have a good morning.
Okay, let's see. I have to get my notes back together here. Just some quick announcements I've got. The first one is the flu season is upon us. We had our flu clinics. If you did not get your flu shot at our flu clinic here at Butterfield, please, I encourage you to get one. And, you know, of course, obviously, if your doctor advises you not to, then don't. But this is important to help control the spread of the flu. Also, of course, COVID is still out there, so I want to remind you to watch your COVID symptoms. The COVID and the flu symptoms are very similar to each other, and really the treatment plan for both of them is pretty similar to each other as well. You need to isolate and quarantine, get tested with your doctor, and then if it's a flu or COVID, there may be some medications that's available to you. One thing the Dr. Wright's clinic asked me to announce is that if you're having upper respiratory systems that could be flu or COVID, please don't come to the clinic. Please call them and then schedule a treatment plan with them through the phone. Because when you come to the clinic, you're spreading that among our other residents that you pass in the hallways on the way, and you're spreading it to any residents that may be in the clinic, and then you're spreading it to, of course, people at the clinic. So the Robin and the workers in the clinic. So if you have flu, COVID-like symptoms, call Dr. Wright's office. Don't just go down there, okay? Another issue we've got that's come up is, and I've always walked a tightrope on this one, but you know, is unlocking your doors in your apartments and your village homes and cottages. Fayetteville is generally a safe place to be to start with, and in Butterfield is a pretty safe place to be. So I don't want to alarm anyone, but also do want to remind you to use some caution, exercise some caution, and lock your doors if you're leaving for the day or leaving for a while, and make sure your garage door is closed, that sort of thing. Our campus is accessible by foot in many areas, especially along the walking trail. We have had a little bit of issues with some homeless people wanting to camp along the trail, and we have to ask them to leave. So I don't want to alarm or scare anybody. Nothing's changed or nothing's different. There hasn't been any incident that has occurred, but I do want to just remind everybody to just be cognizant of that, and lock your doors if you're leaving to go shopping or something. So Kim asked me to announce that our 990 IRS informational tax return. It's not actually a tax return, it's an informational return with the IRS, but it's called a 990 for not-for-profit organizations. We have got it finalized and filed for Butterfield and the foundation. They're at the front desk for your viewing pleasure. The only thing I've got to caution you on is if you're going to go look at these, don't drive or operate machinery after looking at these. They are very boring. They will put you right to sleep. And I thought maybe Dr. Wright wants to start prescribing these as a sleeping pill or something. If you're having trouble sleeping, get a copy of it because it'll put you right to sleep pretty quick. So the other thing, Gary's up in our booth and wasn't able to announce today, but we had our signups for our in-house app the app that we're using for our in-house messages, and that's that Telegram. I think I got that right. No, I started to say telephone, but it's Telegram. Anyway, we had about half our residents sign up for that. I was a little disappointed that more didn't sign up. That is up and running and working, and as far as we know, it's working really well. We've been pleased with it. The feedback that I've received from residents is very positive so far. So if you didn't sign up for that, please consider doing so. It is voluntary. It's up to you, but there's a lot of information being put out on this, about dining, Jennifer's wellness classes, program and events, just general information about Butterfield. Gary's doing a cybersecurity messages now and again, but there's a lot of information on there that if you're not signed up for it, you're not receiving. So consider signing up for it if you're not. And the final thing I had, and then I think we're about done for the day, maybe open for questions, but the gentleman with the Northwest Arkansas Gridiron, I always want to call him Gridiron Gang, and I don't know where I get that at, but anyway, with the Gridiron is in the back and it will be in the lobby. He's waving his hand back here, but he is the one that you buy your tickets from if you want to come to next Friday's show, so be sure and stop and get your tickets on your way out the door. And with that, I don't have any more announcements or news, and I'd open the floor for questions if anybody has any. No questions? Okay, thank you. I start to say somebody's got to have a question. Okay, yes, ma'am. the question is the dining room and getting the dining room back to some sort of normal, is that a priority with the board and myself and the people who make decisions? The answer to that is yes. But also I have to add a qualifier to that yes, is we're working through a number of different complex issues here. And here's what I mean by that. We've haggled around this buffet a lot. We wanted to go to plated meals. We tried it. The only reason we have still a buffet line that's in question is because of staffing. If we can get the staff, we will go to plated meals and we will get everything back to normal. So the back to normal is contingent upon being able to get staff. In this regard, we are doing a number of different things. Some that's costing us a lot of money, and then some that's not costing us any money. But in my mind, the staffing issue, not only just dining but housekeeping, healthcare, is all the three-legged stool. Number one is we've got to keep our salaries. And remember, if I don't cover three things, then spark me, because I'll get to talking and forget them. But is a three. This is three in sign language. Sign language, this is W. This is three. But my little grandson is deaf, so I have to. So when I do three, that's what I'm talking about. But it's a three-legged stool. The first one is our salaries. We got to get our salaries competitive with the market in Northwest Arkansas, and we've fallen behind a little bit in that. The budget that we approved for 2023 includes some raises to our staffs in these areas to try to get us back into some degree of market. We have realized we can't wait till January, and this was not a surprise to us. We kind of figured we couldn't. We're going to go ahead and implement those raises in November, starting in the next few weeks. We've got some savings in our budget. The one good thing about being short-staffed is we have a lot of savings in our budget because we're not paying the staff. So we're going to go ahead and use that savings to fund these raises a little bit early. Don't know what difference that will make. This will put us back in the market, but it doesn't, we're not going to be the top or the highest employer or nothing like that. So it is our hope it will allow us to keep the staff we've got and then be able to attract more staff so we can get some of these positions filled. That's leg one of the stool. Leg two of the stool is our advertising and recruiting. We did add some money in our budget for the first time to do some real internet recruiting techniques, Google searches, sponsoring ads on Indeed. We've never had to do this stuff before. We've just, always been able to get employees. But with the last couple of years, we finally said, okay, we keep doing the same things and it's not working. So let's don't continue to do the same things. That's not going to work in the future because it hasn't been working in the past. So we're trying some new things. Hopefully those will make a difference, especially when you combine it with the raises that were given. And then the third leg, see, I did remember all three. The third leg is to beef up our hiring processes a little bit. Sometimes we don't get the person called. An applicant applies, and they don't just apply at Butterfield and not apply to any place else. So they apply at Butterfield, they apply at 10 other places. Well, if you're not the first one calling this person, if you're not the first one getting them in for an interview, you're probably not going to hire them. So I think we've been a little bit lax in getting people called and interviewed and hired. Of course, being a retirement community, we have to go through some extra steps that other places don't. And that's always an uphill battle that we fight, and that certainly isn't going to change. So we live with that and fight that battle every day. But we still, I think, got to do a better job of getting people called quicker and getting them in here. Because I think what's happening is by the time we get around calling them, they've already got a job someplace else. So that's the three legs of the stool that we are working on behind the scenes that will hopefully make some difference. Is it going to mean we're just going to automatically be able to hire everybody all the time? No, but we're hoping it'll make enough difference we can get back to some normal. So Yeah, HR and then the actual manager themselves. So this case would be HR and Memo in the kitchen. If it's in the dining, if it's in laundry, it is HR, and then Joe Owen, and then healthcare is HR and I think Darcel. Is that right, Mike? Yeah. So once again, we're working. We're doing the best we can. Went to the Leading Age Conference in Denver a couple weeks ago. Bob Kelly, our incoming board president, and I went. One of the things we heard is, this is across the board, every industry, not only every retirement community, but every medical provider and in every factory, every restaurant, and it's across the board everywhere. We don't know where the workers are at. Now, things are getting better. There was one consultant that had some news for us, and they work in this industry, in this line all the time, and they think things are going to get better. She said, we're seeing people to come back into the workforce, and things are slowly improving, and we anticipate that in the next few months, 6 months, that things will continue to get better. There's also some word floating around, you all have heard it on the news, possible recession and things, and some employers are considering layoffs and things. So once again, we're optimistic that things are going to get better. I just don't know how fast or how quick. So I know that's not much of an answer for you, but that's the best I can give you. Did you have another question? Yeah. The question is, or the comment is that there's some maintenance issues and some equipment hasn't been proper maintained, and is that a priority? And of course, the answer is yes, it is. Yes to both. There has been some issues with maintenance in the past that we honestly didn't do a very good job of keeping up with. Our new maintenance facility supervisor, Tyler Boyven, is doing an excellent job in that area, and I'm optimistic that we're on a path to a brighter future in that regard. But yes, we did have some issues in the past. Yes, they are being addressed, and yes, they are a priority. I alerted our board and finance committee to the issue that we may have some extra maintenance and repair cost over the next few months while we get caught up in these areas. So yeah, it's once again, we're doing the best we can with what we got where we're at. Always attribute that to Teddy Roosevelt. I don't know if he's one that actually said that or not, but we've been a little bit short-staffed in maintenance and so on. So, but hopefully we're on the road to improvement. Now it's kind of a long-winded answer to your question. So, anybody else have any questions before we adjourn for October? No? Well, thank you for coming, and remember, we're a week early in November. It'll be November the 18th for our town hall meeting. So, good Lord willing, I'll see you then. So.